Quickly, I would say just like how a spiritual person or a person who is diving more deep into the nature of reality perceives that there's more than sensory perception, also similar to how many mystics and yogis have said. And there's an understanding beyond the senses. Similarly, when we hear things, when we hear words, and when we utilize language, we're hearing at first. And so there is an illusory nature into the shapes that we think we are, or that we hear through language. And it's illusory to a point where when you look at people, you begin to see that it is as if every person is communicating in the world that is real for them. So even though many scientists come to agree, they have many different preferences because there's a unique design, so the generalities of the laws of existence are not per se relevant to the individual's movement into its collective body. And so as you move into your collective bodies, concepts like deep listening become, ancient listening become very, very valuable for you, which is something that I've brought in the sense that when you hear, you're not hearing as an individual, as a body, but you're just dissolving into the sounds that are the expression of being. It's very important for us to see that we need to acknowledge our communication more than just the shapes it's given or it's agreed upon. Because if only people agree to one thing, one set of view, then it wouldn't be as expansive. So it is very important to be aware of that matter. In other words, the polarity of how we assume to know something will shift in the sense that we see once the whole spectrum is acknowledged, the spectrum was never there. Once you suddenly have that experience, you're qualified for the job. You're qualified for that reality to experience that sense of beingness. Qualification, the way that concept is introduced to man is done in the way where someone else has to qualify you, it seems, or someone else is checking. There's a God and there's a judgment day. But if you begin to see the internal view of what God means, you begin to see that it's the origin of your awareness. And so it's rather all the judgments you've brought on what your awareness is than the form that you are feeling it's going to be judged by a formless sense of being. Once the form dissolves, in that emptiness, clarity is you. And that you is the same you in the universe. Much blessings and namaste.